mortgage brokers. What a wonderful time it is to be alive. So again, my name is Krish Dhokia, Chief Marketing Officer here at Kind Lending. And this series, if you've joined before, if you're joining for the first time, is something that we launched back in October at our Vibe event in Costa Mesa at Vibe 2023. Good news is there is a Vibe 2024 in the plans in the making as we speak. So there's a lot of fun things. We're also going to be at pretty much every broker event this year. So we're excited about that as well. So be sure to find our account executives. I'll be at a lot of them as well. So last couple of sessions, we've talked a little bit about everything. And today, and let's go ahead and put the screen up, but today we're going to start talking about hyper-local targeting or hyper-local marketing, really. And what's interesting about this is, like, one, it's a really long vernacular to go out there and say, okay, I'm doing hyper-local targeting marketing, whatever. It's a strategy, guys. And I wanted to kind of hone in on that because our mortgage brokers, for the most part, are super hyper-local. And even if you have multiple locations and you're growing brokerage, you have to consider all of the marketing strategies available to you. There's a lot of foundational things that have to be done, have to be consistently done in order to be successful in the marketing. And I don't want to skip slides, but let's talk a little bit about what we're going to cover today on this webinar. This webinar is recorded. It will be made available via email. We'll communicate out to everyone if you want to share it with your folks and your friends in the marketplace, but also in the Facebook group. Again, another plug. We have a lot of tidbits, recordings, things like that you can kind of utilize and reference as well. So we're going to cover what is hyperlocal marketing, tips for success for hyperlocal marketing, and frequency, conviction, and commitment. And that's going to be a fun little plug on that one as well. So let's move right into what is hyperlocal marketing. And, I think we advertise it as hyperlocal targeting marketing. And you got to think about, like, the ramifications from a compliance perspective and redlining and things like that. You really don't want to use targeting, right, as a word, but as a strategy, let's talk about hyperlocal marketing. So it is an advertising strategy that targets a particular area with localized and relevant promotions. Now, that doesn't mean running ads. That truly does mean is looking at your area. Now, I don't know where all of you're based out of. I'm based out of Dallas, Texas. And Dallas, Texas is a ever-growing metropolis, if you will, right? So if I blanket said, hey, I'm a mortgage broker, which I'm not, but I'm a mortgage broker and I am going to target all of Dallas, Texas. Tough, really tough. While that's might be the goal, that's a really tough playing field, right? A lot of your competitors in the marketplace have humongous, ginormous budgets. There's a lot of waste that happens there as well. And they typically go after the entire market, right? So they're using Facebook, Google, all the way up to DRTV and other things. And there's a sense in marketing, at least, that, okay, as long as our ROI is X amount, usually a very low percentage, then it's worth it. And as a broker, your marketing budget may be, is likely a fraction of some of these big shops. So how do you compete? Well, it is truly picking that area. Now, if you're in a smaller town, like I live in Dallas, Texas, but I specifically live in Flower Mound, Louisville area. And if I wanted to market, those are the target markets I should be honed in and focused in on. If you can't do business at home, where else would you do business, right? Many of you are licensed in multiple states. So if you determine an area that you want to focus on in a specific area, in a different state, then pick that area and own it. And that is the idea of hyperlocal marketing. You are the number one resource, the only person that should come to mind in that specific area when it comes to mortgage. Okay. So I have a couple of tips. I'm going to go through these tips pretty quickly, but I do want you to ask questions because it covers a lot of different areas, okay, of marketing. Marketing, gone are the days that marketing is just a flyer or a social media graphic or one of these things that seven touches and all the all the acronyms that we throw out there, KPIs and ROIs. It is truly having this game plan on how you are going to own your market. You have to be the number one person that people think of. So going through these 6 tips. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. Please do ask questions. I think I might see a question. I do. I like questions. Oh, it was our amazing coordinator, Daisy, welcoming everyone to the call. All right. So optimize your business listings. So that's a blanket ask, right? Optimize your business listings. You should, if you have a brick and mortar or you're running from home, running a shop from home, whatever, you should have a listing somewhere. The most common places, of course, are Google My Business and Yelp. Okay, so let's talk about Google as a whole. I might take a little bit more time talking about Google because Google isn't just a search engine anymore, right? Google is powered by so much more than just a search bar and what comes up. A lot of folks, and I've had a lot of conversations with folks over the years, real estate agents, mortgage professionals, like, I don't show up on the first page. Well, you won't. Let's be honest. Because the first 6, 7 posts are ads, but the first thing that does show up is business listings. Google has focused on Google business listings to the point where a lot of the search functionality is honed in on that business listing. So, for example, rate, put your star. I forget how Zoom works, where you can probably do a hand raise or whatever. But raise your hand if in the last 30 days you have used Google or any other search engine to find something near you, right? So, for example, pizza near me. I'll wait. I'm just kidding. Feel free to raise your hand or comment. I do, or I did. 97%. So this is a Pew research that was done for 2023, and the numbers keep going up, and it doesn't cease to amaze any of us anymore. But 97% of Americans in the United States own a cell phone. Not surprising. 97% also are using mobile for search or use Google through mobile. Okay. I do Google on my computer. That's probably as much because I'm at my desk a lot, and many of you might as well. But our consumers are searching on their phones, and they're searching probably not, hey, I want to find a FHA home, FHA lender near me. Maybe they are, but I did a dig, and we're going to probably share this on the Facebook private group. I'll get it over to Daisy. She can, put it in there. But I think it was 100 top mortgage key search terms haven't changed, right? And we'll talk about this in some other pieces. Actually, let me wait on the keywords because that's the next part. But optimize the business listings. Your Google My Business page should be a really good repository for your reviews. It should be pictures of you and your events and your business and social graphics. You can house all of those there. But one thing I want to make sure that you guys are doing is taking a step deeper. So you go in, claim your profile. I know sometimes it's a bear Zoom thinks I'm speaking Arabic. That's interesting. Okay, cancel. Sorry. But claim it, right? And then once you're in there, you look at your dashboard in Google My Business, and it's so much more. It has its own little analytics, how many people clicked on the phone number, how many people emailed you. It tells you all that. But there's a video component to this. You can upload videos and they get indexed in Google search. So again, photos, content, video, Google My Business is a top spot on this SEO search for you, right? And you're obviously not searching yourselves for a vanity purpose, right? You're searching yourselves to see what your consumer experience is. But video is such a big you know, piece of this. As you all know, Google owns YouTube, one of the best acquisitions that YouTube has ever made in the history of sorry, Google of ABC, whatever they call themselves now. It's such a hot topic. Additionally, Google launched their own AI platform to compete with OpenAI and ChatGPT-4 and all of those things called Gemini. And you might have already seen Gemini popping up on your Google search when you're on your phone. It'll say Gemini, you can speak to it, and it's retrieving content information. You can do whole lot more with the 1.5 version. The Google My Business and YouTube are going to be are scoped to be some of the biggest components of the new AI platform that Google is launching, right? Meaning that the indexed searchability, all of those things. So content, right? If you're including a graphic on your Google My Business through your dashboard, it does get indexed. Be sure to add copy to it. Search hashtags aren't as relevant in this scenario, but using those keywords. So moving into localize your content marketing. If you're including a graphic, you are a mortgage broker and you are, touting to be the number one resource for all things mortgage in your community. You should be writing that. And you should be using keywords within your content marketing. Content marketing is key in everything you do, right? From your emails to your social graphics to whatever medium you're using as a deliverable. Now, being sure to include the keywords. So back to the keywords part, right? And this actually is a segue into target your search marketing. So let's go into target your search marketing. Now, I have to preface redlining. You cannot redline, and you need to confirm, connect with your compliance teams, or if you have a outside resource, just be sure that you're not doing that part. But most of the places where you can do pay for play advertising doesn't allow you to do that anyway, right? After Cambridge Analytica, Meta, Facebook made it much more difficult for real estate agents and mortgage professionals to advertise. But this is about making sure that your foundation is laid for your organic marketing. So I'm going to give you an example. Okay. All of you, I hope, have gone in and created a bio for yourself. Okay. And when you create a bio for yourself, even mine, right? It says, hey, I'm Krish Dhokia, name, been in marketing for 22 years. I do mortgage, or in this case, I do marketing. And, I work here and I do this and I support this community. And, I like basketball and, the Georgia Bulldogs or whatever, right? And you might have a little bit personal flair. I've got kids. I like to ride horses. I'm a cowboy, whatever. And then the latest trend is people creating their own personal bios by dropping it into ChatGPT, AI, or whatever. And unless your information is already out there, they're not going to be able to tell you any more than the prompts that you provided it. Now let's talk about keywords that need to belong in your bio and pretty much every piece of content you produce without it feeling robotic. Okay. The number one search, even today, the top two searches related to mortgage, based on Pew Research and a couple of other places, SEM Rush that I looked at as well, and has held true for the last 15 years, is how much home, and it's a search prompt, how much home can I afford? Mortgage calculator was number two. And I believe number three was amortization calculator, I think was number three. Okay. Then there's some different ones out there, which was like that ranked really high as search keywords, was no down payment mortgage. Hold on, I got the list right here because I was like looking at it last night again. I'm like, some of these were kind of weird to me, but not surprising. Okay. All right. These are the high ones. So number zero, down home loans, high. Best bank for home loans, reverse mortgage companies, no money down home loans, zero down home loans, home lenders, a very bad credit home. These are the top ones. And then top mortgage companies. We probably searched that. I don't know. um, and let's see, home loan rates today. And another one that ranks really high is veterans home loans, right? There are actually veterans researching that. Um, so going back to your bio, does your bio have any of those things in it? Right? What if your bio says something to the effect of, "Hey, I love helping people. I support my community of Atlanta, Georgia, and have you are you renting and let's take a spin on it, right? Just hypothetically, just whip it up. Um, are you a first-time home buyer that is questioning how much home can I afford? Question mark. Because guess what? That is exactly what they're typing into Google search. Now, adding keywords, and this you can Google it right now. It's like, hey, what are the best mortgage keywords I need to include in all my content and my copy to help target, right? You need to have a geography included in it. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm licensed in these states. Include that, and you can, and you'd be surprised. You could probably fit it into one paragraph. Probably shouldn't be more than one paragraph, but Google, and here's an interesting story. Google is always changing their algorithm, and the more recent ones are that it should have no less than 1,000 characters. Sorry, 1,000 words. Now, are you going to have 1,000 word bio? Probably not, but maybe your about me section page might. Um, and when you look at it from a paragraph breakdown perspective, it really doesn't look like that much. And it isn't. But having those keywords in there that it's natural and it feels good, you're not going to immediately see the results of popping up in the top 10 because you're not, but people will find you and you want to, push up against your competitors in your local marketplace to be also an option for that consumer to find you. And again, going back to Google My Business and Yelp and Zillow, and if you've claimed your pages there, if you have an MLS number, you have a Zillow page. Go claim it. Put your bio up, right? Same bio, different places. Consistency is great. Okay, moving on. Utilize SMS marketing. Now, all of you know that the laws around text messaging continues to get tougher, right? The landscape gets tougher. There's more and more rules around it. Also, it's an election year, so there's like really no rules, right? Because I'm sure all of you have received a vote for somebody in Super Tuesday, and through November this year is going to be pretty harsh on your cell phones. To keep that in mind as you create text campaigns, there's a lot of platforms you can create these campaigns. If you're utilizing a CRM, more than likely it has the ability to create SMS campaigns. It does, and it should have, an option to opt in and opt out. But how do you do it in a local, hyper local targeted kind of regard? So first, it goes back to your CRM. Make sure your CRM is segmented, not just by, it should be by referral sources, right? So your agents, your financial advisors and planners and tax, what's it, divorce attorneys, whatever, whoever's in your referral pool, right? Look at that piece. Then you have your consumers. Now, obviously, you should have kind of a tag, whatever CRM you're using, as your consumers should be segmented based on past clients, current clients, pipeline clients, whatever. But what if you're able to take it down, take it a deeper? Like, are they also segmented by, hey, they're pipeline clients, but they are renters? The pipeline clients, right? Warm leads or cold leads, whatever, separated by renters, currently own, you have an opportunity to then patch them through to a realtor that help them sell the home to buy a new home, and segmenting in that sense. But then you take it even a step deeper by occupation. Are you taking the notes for your contacts to say, hey, I know this person loves golf, right? You use a text message campaign to say, you could do a survey that you could send to all your clients in your database that love golf. Where's a hot spot to watch the Masters? I don't know, right? Who do you got on? You know these people are avid, I don't know, horse betting folks. I don't know. I'm just thinking because I just watched Peaky Blinders the other day. Um, but if they're, love horses and whatever, maybe it's a thing about Kentucky Derby. Hey, did you know that there's so and so places doing a awesome Kentucky Derby festival party, whatever, right? Taking it a step deeper to say, hey, I have access to this cool non-QM product or a whatever, right? I don't know. There's a change in Cal Hafa or there's a change in some kind of DPA, whatever, and this pool of consumers, um, based on geography, if they're in California and the Dream for All is coming and their pipeline and the renters or whatever, that you're able to disseminate that information in effectively, and the text messages coming with some fields that has their first name and hey, it's Krish, and adding personalization. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on that because it's a rabbit hole on text messaging, because there's a lot of folks who have proved the point that it doesn't work in an election year, or it doesn't work because of the opt-in, opt-out. It is something that you need to test, to add that additional touch point, especially for hyperlocal, and then really think outside the box on how you're going to break down your audiences that you're sending them. It doesn't mean send every blanket, text message to every single person. You'll probably get a lot of hate responses for doing that. Okay. Second to last, send relevant email marketing, you guys. Bed Bath and Beyond doesn't exist anymore. It got scooped up, but I give that example a lot, right? Bed Bath and Beyond drowns people out. Okay, now a lot of our mortgage brokers today, I imagine, are receiving emails from multiple lenders. So take in that feeling. You wake up, you've got 80 emails, and you've got clients, you've got referral sources, you've got a lot of people, you got business going on, you might be growing your hiring, whatever. You're already being drowned out by email, but email marketing is still the number one leader of ROI on marketing tactics, right? Email marketing is super, super important. And even my own team right here at Kind Lending, we are continuing to grasp the changes. And okay, I'm going to throw this out there, right? We love video and we love images. And Kind Lending, I've got one of the greatest, creative teams on the planet. I am biased, I know, but we spend an awful lot of time on these images, right? Now, social media and wherever externally, where you can freely see images. However, I got to find the stats, but it was something alarming in the roundabout numbers of, I think it was like 68 or 70% of all email communications through email platforms like Outlook and Gmail, to be the biggest ones. The images are hidden. Right. When you receive that email, it says download the email. It could be a spam, because there's bad people out there. There's a lot of bad actors who are trying to utilize those through click-throughs to hack you, right? So Outlook at Kind Lending, if you send an email, you have to voluntarily download the images before you can see the images. So the trick is I'm not saying don't include images in your emails to attract the consumer or the realtor. But what I am saying is there's an option to add alt, write a really good description. You could be funny about it, okay? Like, for example, hey, why don't you go up there and see what this image is and click on download, right? If you're not seeing it. Because the alt doesn't show up if the image does. So keep that in mind. But you could be as simple as, hey, this is an image of, that would be pretty boring, but this is an image of two people and they're really happy and they're buying a house, right? So consider that. Don't not include images in your email content. Do definitely continue to add email images and videos and a link. Make sure you have a link. If they have this email and they get it in front, you get it in front of them, and they took a chance on you and open the email, that can't be the end of it, right? And it's not just, hey, send them to social media. This is a pass through to your website to learn more about you. And whether you have a landing page dedicated to that email or it's your apply now page, make sure there's content there as well. Continue that stream, continue that journey. Last piece I want to say on this, make sure you have a really killer subject headline. We, all kind of go through this. Hopefully you have some kind of training around what is a spam fraudulent email and what is not. So don't be too out of the box creative where it could be flagged, but or not open because it's like, hey, John, remember when we met? I don't open those emails, right? But be to the point and be specific to your audience that's opening the email, right? So your realtors are going to want to know something that's in it for them and your consumers as well. So, and we'll have, again, more content on email marketing. I'm going to try to get those stats over to our best friend Daisy that's behind the scenes today for the Facebook group as well. Okay, lastly, location-based ad opportunities. Now, our best actors, if you will, that offer advertising is Google and Meta, right? Facebook, Instagram. Consider other places that aren't, elevated to the point where, not the most common places that you would think of that people are still responding to. So don't just try something new that no one's ever done. But Facebook and Meta specifically and Google are overpriced. Let's just be honest, right? Again, going back to what I said earlier in the conversation is the larger companies are making it almost impossible for smaller organizations or independent brokers to compete, right, in those arenas. But did you know one of the fastest growing internet advertising sensations because of targeting, the ability to kind of break down audiences rather, is Pinterest? Some other ideas, if you want to try new things and kind of, you can advertise in places like podcasts. You can like ads. You can say, "Hey, I love your ad to a real estate agent. Can I do an ad?" Make sure you have a co-marketing agreement or whatever, right? But you can advertise on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You can Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts. You can buy advertising pieces on there. So Pandora is another one, which is hyper local. You could buy a zip code just like you buy zip codes on Zillow. And the cool thing about it is, I'm sure you've seen it on the non-paid version of Pandora, is you can actually create pass-throughs, right? To your app, to your page, to your landing page. You can create a landing page specific to the ad that you're running. So figure out how much you want to be able to spend. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but just like anything else, the more square footage you buy, right? The more geography you buy, the more you're going to pay. So, test with comfortability. Always, 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 when you speak to their reps or go through the process, ask for statistics. You probably want to ask, is anybody else advertising a mortgage in this area, the zip code? If they are, what are the results? If they're, like specifically, what is the click-through rate? Usually they don't come back and tell, unless it's a mortgage specific platform, they're not going to come back and tell you what the conversion rate is, because they have to be reported by the advertiser themselves. So those are my 6 tips for hyper local marketing. Again, there's some foundational things going back through. Claim your listings and embellish those listings, get them looking tip top. Make sure there's phone numbers, make sure there's email addresses, make sure there's websites. One thing I did want to mention, if you are a broker and have multiple locations, it's a really good idea to have a landing page dedicated to each branch, right? So on your website, hopefully you have a branch page for each branch location, right? And so then localize your content marketing, focus, use those keywords, target your search marketing with geography and keywords, utilize text, test it, try it, do it, send relevant email marketing. Let's take it down to the basics. Let's make sure that we realize what the end user's experience is. They're not seeing the images, not saying don't focus on it, but make sure you use those alt, focus on the subject, and make sure there's a link to click through. And lastly, location-based ad opportunities. Think outside the box, you guys. I've seen loan officers really, or mortgage brokers really succeed by sponsoring that lacrosse team and then using it as a catalyst to expand outwards. Because, for example, just going to throw this out there, because my 5-year-old is playing lacrosse now. There's 20 kids on this team, okay? And you have their undivided attention if you are marketing to them, if you have that opportunity. But that lacrosse team for that K through 2, whatever, there's like total lacrosse players. And that's in our city, in Flower Mound, for this club team, there's over 400 kids. It's nuts. And, they're all different age groups or whatever. And 400 times 400 parents and their neighbors and their friends and the grandparents. I mean, it's a huge network. Local marketing does work, and with the implementation of some digital components. Okay, so last slide. I'm going to skip right to, nope, this is not this one. Next one. Sorry. Okay. Frequency, conviction, and commitment. And so for those of you that don't know, back in October at Vibe, we had Grant Cardone, who's pretty awesome investor speaker. A lot of people know who he is. And the president of Grant Cardone Enterprises, Jared Glant, is actually, I'm meeting with him in about 30 minutes. He's going to be on episode 1 of season 2 of my podcast called the Krish Marketing Podcast. And he has his own podcast. It's called The Young Hustlers. And I was listening to an episode a couple of days, it was probably from about a year or two ago. And he talks about frequency, conviction, and commitment. But he was looking at it through this eyes of a salesperson, right? My push on every conversation I've ever had is marketing is or sales is marketing, and marketing is sales. And while as a salesperson, frequency, you have to hit them and keep not physically, but keep pushing the narrative and pushing your product and your service until they finally say yes, and I need you to work with me, right? I will work with you, and I want to get pre-approved. The conviction is you have to believe in what you do. Absolutely, 100%. You have to believe that you're providing a service, changing lives, making the dream of home ownership come true. And lastly, be committed to do it, right? Because in 2023, for all of you that are here, we're committed to stay in the mortgage business and continue to serve your clients. So my piece was, I listened to this podcast and I said, okay, well, all of those things are absolutely 110% true for marketing, right? We have to be frequent. We have to believe in what we're doing and supporting our sales teams. And we also have to be committed to supporting the narrative and supporting the story and committed to continuing to push. So, if you are working with your marketing, if you have the benefit of having your own marketing team at your broker shop, right? Or you are the marketer, take the hat off that, today I'm going to be sales and today I'm going to be marketing. It's all in the same. Sales is absolutely 100%, 10% marketing, and vice versa. And so the commitment and the frequency and the belief has to exist in both. And the tools that you use to market, right? So for example, if today you said, okay, you know what, I love the broker webinar, FYI, tell all your friends, everyone you know to come to this webinar, because again, we're just giving it away, right? But today you're going to leave this and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go attack that Google My Business listing. I'm going to own it. I'm going to branch outward from there. I'm going to add social to it, video to it, whatever. But you did that from a sales lens as well as a marketing lens. It wasn't just, hey, I want to be on there because of marketing. You use that now as a tool, right? You push people to leave you a review there. You you use that review to tell the next client or the realtor or the homeowner that, hey, go check out my Google My Business. Like that's what people love, that's what people are saying about me and the experience I've had with me. So make it all connect. And before we adjourn, lastly, I just wanted to add to the next slide. I believe it's on the next slide. Join the Facebook group, Brokers Market Better. We're putting a lot of information out there. Thank you again to Daisy, that's behind the scenes on the call today, who's been updating a lot of information. You'll be looking for this recording. And then lastly, again, a plug for the Krish Marketing Podcast. It's available on Spotify. It's on YouTube. I launched a TikTok channel where I talk everything just like social media, not specific to mortgage, not specific to real estate, but here's some tips and tricks. Last week we did record episode 10. It is live now on the podcast with Nicole Foster, one of our accounting executives. We also talk really about like personal branding on that episode. And again, today, season 2 is being recorded, which will episode 1 will launch next week. We will be having Glenn Stearns on an episode coming up. So stay tuned on that front. So I wanted to address any questions that we had, and if not, we can wrap this bad boy up. All right, we don't have any questions, but Brokers Market Better Facebook group, please ask questions. Keep attending, keep watching, keep sharing. And I have to end with my favorite last words is stay curious and keep marketing. So happy Wednesday, everyone.